It's a 4.7K. This is the old one. It's a 2 watt. That's a 5 watt. So I thought, why not? Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the basement shop. New restoration project. 1948 Admiral, model 19A12S. 7-inch electrostatic set. 1948. This is the Bakelite version. I have the wood version that I've restored, so let me show you that. This one was in really good shape. See all the original knobs. The front looks nice. I did put new grill cloth in it, but the cabinet itself was excellent shape. As far as the chassis, they're both the same. This has all the original knobs, and they look really nice. The front, I think it's loose here, but I think once we get that CRT out, you can see that gasket has fell down, drooped down, and makes it look worse than what it really is. I think we can fix that. This will clean up and polish up really well. So let's take a look at the back. And we do have some rust on the chassis. That transformer is really rusty. A little bit on the chassis. And we're missing the back, but I think I can make one of those. We can use the wood cabinet model as a pattern. I think there's one tube missing, but it looks like the other tubes are all intact. There's a piece of packing material up in there that I didn't get out. That blue next to the speaker. We can get to the CRT socket, so let's pull it off, check the CRT. Now, yeah, we can check the CRT with the Syncor CR70, and I will do that, but the best way I found on these 7JP4s is to hook a chassis up that's working. So let's see if we get anything, and if we do, then we'll put it on a CRT tester and see if the readings on it correspond with the condition of this tube. All right, tube's lighting up. And looks rather bright, so we may have a really good tube here. Well, that gasket on the tube has it stuck. I can't straighten it up, but let's put some signal into this chassis, see what the picture looks like. Well, that's about as good as I can do. As you can see, the picture's upside down. A really good contrast and brightness. And I have all the lights turned on here in the room, so this is one of the better 7JP4s I've ever checked in a restore. Now let's check it on the Syncor CR70 and see if it tells us the same thing. This test chassis I use is a Motorola TS4J late version. It's a quick way of testing 7JP4s without relying on just a CRT tester. You test one with this chassis, then you know what you have. Okay, universal adapter. And remember, F1 on 1, F2 on 2, cathode 3, G1 4, and G2 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you don't set those on those positions, the universal adapter will not work. bias on this tube is minus 68. No shorts. Cut off. Hey, I think this tester is going to go along with what we've already seen. Yep, emission is good. Life test does not move. In this case, the Syncor CR70 told us we had an excellent tube, and we do. So with a really nice cabinet, a good picture tube, good original knobs, we are ready to proceed with the restore. It has been a few days since I've done the first part of the video. You'll notice I have new top on my workbench and clean things up a little with wiring and got everything situated a little bit better. Also had me a new gooseneck light. This is an LED light. You can maneuver it around where you need it, so really like that. All right, let's get this thing apart. Knobs are first, and then we'll pull the chassis screws out. This is a really good sign. Felt still behind the knobs. That could mean that the chassis hasn't had any major work done to it. Or maybe someone just replaced those felt pieces. We're about to find out. Looks like we have some 5/16 screws. I've taken out these two top ones. Now I'm going to set the TV down, let the other two screws hang over the edge of the bench, and then we can safely slide out that chassis. Hopefully it'll be loose. Afraid that CRT gasket interfere. Plug here on the top of the chassis for the speaker. The gasket's actually not in too bad shape. It's still flexible. Getting ahead of myself, we're not worried about that. So let me set this aside. Well, we're pretty rusty. Top of the tuner, that plate really rusty. Top of that transformer. And the chassis starting to rust some. Not real bad yet, so hopefully we can clean that up. Okay, you ready to tip it up on its side and look underneath? What will we find? We find a lot of work that's been done. Look at those high voltage caps. I don't think I've ever seen any shape like that. But they are a 5 kV. Really supposed to be 6, but and we've had other caps replaced. Definitely been a lot of parts replaced on this. I just hope that it was done correctly. I have two schematics on this set. I have the Sam's Photo Fact, which is here, and I also have a Riders. There's a few pages of it printed. Most specifically on it, here's my diagram of how to add a vertical retrace circuit that this set doesn't have. So, and a pretty legible schematic. That Riders, it's very readable. I'm thinking with all these new parts that's been put in this set, let's do a power up and just see if it works. Yeah, before we turn this on, we do need to replace this tube. And this is 6AU6. Okay, let's see what happens. This AC receptacle, see it wiggling around there. Definitely need to replace that. But I have it plugged in, so we should be good. Syncor Pyrite. This is on and off, I think. Yep. We'll turn it on. And I'm on current, so let's see. Okay, that's kind of a good sign. We're on 80 volts or so. Current went up and back down. About 90 volts. And about 0.6 of an amp. Well, it's trying. Not sure if that's because we have low AC coming in or low B plus or low high voltage or combination of the three. We have something. We don't have a good something, but we have something. All right. That cap is cold. That cap is cold. So I guess that's a good thing. So I guess that's an okay start. Did produce some brightness. Suppose I could hook a speaker up just to see if we get anything. Let me do that before we plan our next move. Well, I think we have some filtering problems there. So we do know that we have brightness on the screen. So we do have some high voltage. We know the sound circuit's probably working because we had the loud buzz with the filter problem coming through the speaker. I'm going to use the SAMs. I'm more familiar with the SAMs than I am the Riders. However, the Riders is a lot more clear than the SAMs is, but pretty simple power supply, just a 5Y3. I'm going to check all the tubes. Very seldom I find bad tubes, but let's do that first and then we'll get into troubleshooting. RCA punch card tube tester, 6V6. Looks like a good one. And we have an Admiral tube, 6SL7. This tube we test P1 and P2, which is this switch right here. P1 is a normal position. And it's still climbing, so say that tube is okay. P2 about the same. And we're up in the green now. I'll continue on testing tubes. Update you when I'm finished. Well, all the tubes tested okay. And they were all the correct numbers and the correct sockets. And what I like about this set, tube numbers are stamped on the chassis. And I even pulled the high voltage cover off, checked the 1B3, and it tests good. Well, because we had that loud hum in the audio, I think first thing we should check is a DC voltage on the 5Y3. Could be just a bad filter cap. And 3-inch test tube in place of the 7JP4, and just used a clamp off of the original tube that'll hold it in place. Okay, I have my meter on the DC pin 8 of the 5Y3. I should have 250 or so. Yeah, 240, Sam says. We're way below that, and I'm at 90 volts. We go to 100, still have less than 200 volts. And AC, 44 volts. So I think we got a bad cap. Okay, I bridged the A section. I think this cap is a dual section. I think that says 30 and 30. And that got us up to what, 210, 207 DC. And if we run our AC on up, yeah, we're getting close to 240 now. And leakage, practically none. 3.6, 3.5 volts. And I think we made a difference on the screen too. Okay, freed up my meter lead. That's the one that we bridged. We'll go with just that one cap right now. Let me get some signal put in and we'll attempt to get a picture. So the filter cap, I think, was our problem, one of our problems. This is contrast. Now we do have a crawl. I think you can see that. Picture's still got a crawl in it, so those electrolytics, both sections of that electrolytic need to be changed. Now let me attempt to hook a speaker up again. Let's see what that sounds like.
Your word, staying true to your friends no matter what.
Yeah, we have sound. Let me bridge that other section of that cap. And then don't forget we have this one too that's been changed. I need to check it. We'll get another one and we'll just bridge it right here on the other side of this filter choke. Yeah, that took care of it. We had a pretty loud hum coming out of that speaker, so that toned it down. Looking over this cap, on the riders, which is the original Admiral schematic, just a reprint. This is called C32, and these are the two sections that I've bridged, B and the C. The A section is this blue wire, and that goes down to the video output tube, which is right here, C32A. So that's a 20 mic. The other two are 30 according to the riders. So I'm going to install 3 new caps to replace this one. I'm not going to try to take that old one out. Those are twist locks with really good solder connections on the chassis, and I'm not going to even attempt to try to remove it. But we'll just put a terminal strip, 3 caps, and then we'll see what the picture looks like. If it looks okay, I'm inclined to just not worry about any of this work that's been done, because apparently they did a good job and it is working okay. Now, the high voltage caps, yeah, I'll probably replace those. Don't know how old they are, and they're only 5 kV, and it's really supposed to be 6. So that kind of makes me wonder a little bit. Let's get these 3 caps put in, and we'll see if the picture and sound are okay. Well, this is going to work out really easy. we have a hole already in the chassis right there. And all I need to do is to mount my terminal strip on that hole. And I have my caps labeled A, B, and C. And there's the wires that need to be connected. All hooked up. Now, I did put a new resistor. It's a 4.7K. This is the old one. It's a 2 watt. That's a 5 watt. One more thing to do here. Got to hook a ground wire up. This is my common ground for all 3 caps. So I need to hook a ground wire up to this terminal. And then we'll try it and see if it works. Just have that cap just kind of dangling loose there, but see if we're working. Oh yeah.
Plan available through the Colonial Pen program. No medical exam. No
Sounds okay. Now I'll go ahead and change this one. It's just a 2-section. So we can get rid of it where it won't be in the way because it's hitting the terminal strip. Got rid of that. And 33 mic directly to the tube socket. There's a ground terminal. 47 mic from here, that's ground to the center of that terminal strip. 2 small ones took the place of that one big one. Still working. So let's put the 7JP4 in and see what it looks like. Picture's not too bad. I don't think I have enough horizontal width, and the vertical could be a little shy on the height. And that could be those high voltage caps. They could be not doing what they need to be doing. Not enough high voltage. So next, let's check the high voltage. Well, no, we've got almost 6,000 volts. Right at 6,000. So I could check the resistors. It could be part of the problem. On these old sets, the resistors tend to drift upwards. So we can check those, and I'll look over more closely the work that's been done here just to be sure that the right value caps have been installed. And that's a common thing. They didn't have the exact value, they would just stick something in that they had, and that affects the circuit. But hey, the set is working. Well, after leaving it on a few minutes, I think most of the problem are in the controls. See this contrast? I need to clean it. It's really wreaking havoc there on the picture. I think that's a big part of the problem. Well, that's looking somewhat better. I cleaned all the controls on the back, and focus is not quite what it needs to be. I think that's because of that divider network on the focus circuit. Quick look at it. Got like 4 resistors and the focus control. Well, there's a couple more even. We've got several resistors there that can change value, and that would definitely affect the focus. So we need to check that. The retrace, I think we can solve that problem. This set has no vertical retrace circuit, so we can fix that. We can install that modification. That'll get rid of those white lines that we can see there. So that's going to do it for part 1 of this Admiral 19A11, chassis 19A1. Thanks for watching. See you next time. We hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribe to our channel? Thanks.